So, I was working on a Rook video, as one does, right? I had a fleeting thought, I started typing, and then it became clear this needed to be its own video. So that's what we're doing. Rook is one of my favorite characters. There is something so deeply wrong with him, and I love it. And one thing I find really interesting about him is his backstory, or lack thereof. We don't really know a lot about his past besides like a few anecdotes, but there's one major mystery with him. What in the world is going on with his family? When it comes to what we know concretely, there's a few things. We know Rook is the third oldest child out of 6, so he's the middle child basically. We know they're wealthy. We know the whole family has problems getting together for family gatherings, and that's kind of it. Rook can be extremely evasive when it comes to talking about his family, especially when it comes to what they do as a career. When Rook, Epple, you, and Grim chase after Vil and the others when they've been kidnapped by Styx, Rook reveals they can get to the Isle of Woe, or like really close to it, with minimal travel time. He says one of his ancestors was an avid traveler and has villas in loads of different countries. Those villas have magical teleporters in them, so they can simply use those to get close to the Isle of Woe. Epple is shocked by this because apparently, you need special government permission to have magical teleporters in the first place. He asks Rook what his family does, and Rook is literally like, wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? So let's back up a little bit and pick this apart. 1. The Hunt family has multiple villas that are still in the family. That's a sign of wealth if I ever did see one, and they have them in multiple different countries. This isn't just one cabin they bought for super cheap because it was made of a contractor's leftover materials. These are villas that have enough room to house presumably a lot of people, at least a couple people. Because Rook is like, oh yeah, I guess I could ask my family if we could use one for a vacation for friends or something like that. So yeah, they are crazy rich. 2, we can assume whatever job Rook's ancestor did, the family is still involved in doing that and everything. When Epple is asking Rook what his family does, Rook is evasive about it. And because he's evasive, to me it seems to imply the family is still in that line of business. I mean, yeah, if it was something kind of nefarious, I would understand not wanting to out that, but I digress. I think ultimately it's supposed to imply that the family is still involved. I've seen loads of theories on what could be going on with his family. They could be spies, government-contracted assassins, monster hunters, etc., etc. There's a lot of speculation going on. I have my own theory, though, and I know this is an extremely wild and out there idea, but hear me out. I think Rook's family is a part of a Twisted Wonderland version of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. For those of you without a Disney Park special interest, I'm sure you're extremely confused. So, allow me to explain S.E.A, or the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. S.E.A is a secret society that exists within the Disney Parks canon. The very first iteration of S.E.A was in Walt Disney World before being completely reworked and fleshed out by Tokyo Disney Sea Imagineers, and they're the people who have made it what it is today. And in the current day, references to the S.E.A can be found in every Disney park in the world, and also apparently Aulani in Hawaii. In universe, the S.E.A was founded in Italy in the 1500s. Like the name suggests, the society is made up of explorers and adventurers who travel the world. Now, the members generally work to further knowledge and to do archaeological stuff across the globe, although as far as I can tell this hasn't been confirmed, but given future direction of the group, we can assume that they were probably working with indigenous people and not being shitheads. However, some S.E.A members are absolute garbage people, like Harrison Hightower, the whatever. I don't care enough about him to look up, what number he is. It's on site. He was known for stealing sacred artifacts from indigenous people and grave robbing. Also, everyone in S.E.A did not like this bitch, and he would have lost his membership had he not been killed by the Shriki Utundu, a fictitious African deity inhabiting an idol that Harrison stole. It's currently on the loose at Hightower's hotel he ran, which IRL is Disney Sea's Tower of Terror. That's the whole backstory for that. During the 1920s, the S.E.A started revoking members, memberships, if they were committing crimes like grave robbing, stealing artifacts, being shitheads, etc. This caused some people to split off from the society, which giant cringe, to put it lightly. But anyways, S.E.A is still active in the present day. You can find bits of their history all across Disney parks, like I said before, but the majority of S.E.A stuff is located in Tokyo Disney Sea, since that is kind of where all of this was born. If you want to hear more about this society, I would recommend Offhand Disney's videos on them. Dallin goes into depth about everything, so I'll leave links to his videos in the description. So what makes me think that S.E.A. is somehow in Twisted Wonderland, or that Rook's family has some connection to it? For starters, I'll admit we don't know if there is an S.E.A. variant in Twisted Wonderland, but then again, it is a secret society, so it's not like we would know if it's a thing or not. But like, Yana Toboso, in her Magical Archives interview, talked about growing up going to Tokyo Disneyland. She's a Disney nerd and went on record saying she did a lot of research into Disney stuff for Twst. I think it's extremely plausible she knows about S.E.A. and used that as inspo for Rook's backstory. Is it 100% confirmed? No, but I think it's very possible. When I think about everything we know, I think Rook's family being a part of some secret society makes a lot of sense, especially one based on exploration. Rook himself says his ancestor was an avid traveler. He might not be lying or dancing around what his ancestor did. That could be the truth. His ancestor did a lot of traveling. It's just that his ancestor was doing that traveling while being attached to a secret society. It explains why the Hunt family has so many villas in so many different countries. Traveling to different countries would be a lot more comfortable if you had a home there just waiting for you. And when it comes to wealth, let's face it, the Hunt ancestor could have made serious bank by selling artifacts to museums, or making maps of previously uncharted areas, or leading tours through dangerous terrain, or anything that has to do with exploration, honestly. I mean, honestly, like, the sky's kind of the limit here. You know, like, that's just a few things it could have been. Rook's skills as a hunter and stalker also lend themselves to exploration. His good hearing could come in handy when trying to find clean water sources, or members of an exploration party that wandered off. His sharp eyesight could be useful for looking for artifacts, or identifying dangerous animals hiding in nature. I don't doubt he loves hunting, but I don't think his skills are just for hunting. And also, being a skilled hunter is a good thing when you're out on expeditions. If something happens to the food supply, you have to figure out a way to feed yourself. Despite his skill in hunting and potentially making a career out of it, or honestly just doing anything else, Rook decides to intern at an archaeological research institute and to go to university to major in archaeology. He talks about how he wants to uncover things that have been lost to time and how beautiful they must be. And as someone who has their BA in anthropology, I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this. Archaeology and archaeology majors, since they're so enmeshed with each other. I don't doubt Rook, I really don't, but the way he talks makes me think he's way more familiar with archaeology than most people are, and if he came from a family that's a part of a secret society that has archaeologists in it, that would make sense he'd know more about it. And he talks about how his interest in archaeology is fairly recent, since he only realized how little he's seen of the world in book 6. According to him, I mean, that man's probably been all around the world given his family's villas, but I digress. I think Rook probably knew about archaeology to some extent thanks to his parents' connections, but never really thought about it that hard, and then when the 6th incident happened, it just kind of opened his eyes to archaeology and kind of the possibilities. Like, I'm gonna be real, archaeology is, like, a pretty decent way to be able to travel, although, like, how much you get to explore locales is kind of up in the air. Archaeology is not exactly fast. Rook kind of touches on it. The Hunt family having difficulty scheduling get-togethers could be because so many members are off exploring. They're either not by their phones or they don't have service, so getting a hold of them would be hard. It's not that they're necessarily busy, although they probably are, but it's also location that's an issue. Not everywhere has cell service. And finally, I think the fact these villas have magical teleporters could be proof that they're a part of some secret exploration society. They would certainly make traveling a lot easier, that's for certain, but like, Apple says you need government clearance to get them. It's possible they're illegally installed, I'll admit, but for a moment, let's just assume they're all legal. If you need government clearance for them, it's probably not just one government that has to consent. After all, you're going from one country to another, and having multiple teleporters among multiple villas is honestly kind of suspicious. So how would these have been okayed? By having friends in government or with some kind of influence. S.E.A. members in-universe range in social standing, and some are nobles. If there's a similar secret society in Twisted Wonderland, it stands to reason that nobles and people with government ties could be in that society. And if the Hunt family applied for magical teleporters, their friends in various governments could help them get approved. Or the teleporters could be some kind of thanks from governments themselves for stuff. I don't really know. Honestly, I'm going more with the friends in high places that are helping them get them, like, approved. Because let's be honest, a family that's on record of having multiple teleporters probably looks suspicious as hell, but having someone in government that knows what's actually up would be a way to get them approved. Although it's true we don't know for sure if there's some version of S.E.A. in Twisted Wonderland, I think Rook's family are a part of a secret society similar to it. They're adventurers, but because they work within a secret society, it's not like Rook can talk about it, but he knows about it and keeps it a secret, leaving all of us left to wonder, like, what's actually going on. And that is my crazy little Hunt family theory. Like I said, I was working on an entirely different video, and then I had a thought, and then everything spiraled out of control. I'll link that video in the iCard and in the description once it's done, but this one is coming out first, so yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully learned something, whether it was about S.E.A. or how deep my obsession with Disney parks go. Learning is good. Before I go, I'd like to give a special thank you to my ladyfingers in waiting who support me and allow me to continue to do this. As I'm writing this script, it's June 9th, 2025, so a big thank you and telepathic snacky treat to the current, right now, immediately as I write this, ladyfingers in waiting, Michgal2189, Visa, Omimi, Annette, Kayla, Richter32, Yungumo, Ukaku, Yosa the Kiseki, Crabjail, Levy Lunarine, Farafo, and Goose Farms. Thank you guys, and I'm care you a lot. If you've joined since then, thank you. I'm also care you a lot. And if you've made it this far, thank you too. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see y'all later.